Good morning. Not too bad time-wise, couple of minutes past. Hopefully everybody saw the time I was coming live. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Right, so I can see that people are starting to pop on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start because I'm just going to do a little bit of a recap over the last couple of days before I go into Scentsy Club. So those people that join on in a couple of minutes can see that. So good morning, everybody. I am gonna ignore the comments because I do get a little bit squirrely. But what I'll do is I'll check at the end for any questions, and then I'll also keep checking back as people watch today, because Scentsy Club is one of those things that can take a little bit of time to get your head around. So first of all, I hope you've all been really enjoying your 3 days of trainings that we've had so far, and then our live the other night. So far we've had Lisa doing the business tips, and she then came back on later on that day and showed you her sample pack. She talked about how she brands herself, and there's two different ways. So she brands herself with her hat, with her, her little and Jess, and they had their hats on and going into the post office with their fancy smelling packages. And then we had Jenny, who was talking about your why and why that is really, really important. If you've not got a focus and you don't know what you're working towards or why you're here, then that can make kind of your goals and things a little bit more difficult to hit. But Jenny also talked about the branding of herself, not necessarily with her Scentsy t-shirts and things, and that was all about, she talked about her green coat, which was really, really funny, because when I was putting the flyers together for the introductions of people, I think I'm slipping a little bit, aren't I? I didn't know that Jenny had the green as her branding, but that just shows that subliminally, that had worked on me, because that picture was the one that shouted out. So it shows that you can brand yourself around other things, and that works as well. And then yesterday we had the lovely Sam telling us all about sponsoring and the different ways of doing that, so directly and indirectly, and how she had quite a speedy kind of trip from starting to get recruits to promoting right up to director, which is absolutely amazing. So what have you got to do now? You've got to pick the things, like Jenny said, don't focus on everything and be overwhelmed, because it's very, very easy to do lots of nothing. So pick those little things that have stood out to you so far that you think, I really need to do that. Eat the frog, get those done, and then the other little things that you can then work in at different points can be done at any point. You don't have to have everything done within these 10 days. We're just giving you foundations, remember that. So without further ado, I'm going to give you all the crack on Scentsy Club. Now, I'm no expert. I don't have like hundreds of Scentsy Club subscriptions, but I have the knowledge, and I've kind of really worked on that knowledge. And what I found was I knew all of this stuff, but I wasn't implementing it in my business. So in January, I started to implement it and managed to gain myself a couple of subscriptions within that month, and was like so excited. But we're just going to cover why it's important to utilise that. Scentsy give us it for a reason. Sorry, I'm squirreling. I've seen Ali going, eat that frog. We love eat that frog. Eat that frog, if you don't know, is doing the big scary things. So the big tasks that you put off, you get those done, and then the other things are a little bit easier. You always go to your easy tasks and you leave the big tasks. So yeah, eat that frog. So Scentsy Club, and I do have some notes here because I didn't want to miss anything. You will have questions. You probably are not going to be able to write down everything that you need. So please come back and, you know, rewatch bits if you need to. Have a little look at all the information on the workstation, which is where I got a lot of the stuff on your website. It's really, really detailed. So Scentsy Club is, it includes all our consumable products, so it doesn't include warmers. So if you have a customer that wants a new warmer, they still have to come to you or order separately through your website for that. So your consumables are all the things that you're going to run out of. So your wax, your laundry products, in America, your room sprays, all of those things that you run out of, okay? So it's focused on getting those on a regular basis. So it's for you to identify your customers that order exactly the same things each month. So I have a customer that orders every other month 2 pots of washer whiffs. She obviously doesn't use wax quite as much, and we have customers that use different products. So she's on my target to be getting this every other month with a bar of wax to then make up a good club subscription. And the bonus of that for her then is she's going to start saving some money, okay? And I'll go into the discounts in a little bit. So things that you can add in, the limited time offers, so like the Valentine's bundle of wax that we got, you can add those in, and you have 30 days from the day of launch for those to be added into your club, okay? Scent of the month. So because our scent of the month can sell out, so if Jade and Jasmine had sold out in January, you would still have the opportunity to pop that into a Scentsy Club for the 30 days after. You can also, within Scentsy Club subscription, select the scent of the month to have the random selection of that. So if you set that up, you could have 12 different bars each month of this year. So you're individually 1 bar for 12 months. So that is an option to get a surprise bar of wax. If you have a customer that isn't bothered by sticking to the same scents, they can select that scent of the month specifically, and it's on a specific little option on when you're setting up your club subscription. If I wanted to just go in and buy ginger spice, then I would go into the bars and select ginger spice. If I wanted the individual bar, January, February, March, April, May, June, then I collect scent of the month. It doesn't give you an option for a fragrance, and then that would get shipped each month depending on which one was launched. So that's the way that they can get a surprise bar. Your catalogue waxes. So if you have a customer, I've got a customer that through the winter buys 6 bars of cinnamon bear, and that's all she does. In the summer season, she buys between 3. So she'll get Scentsy Clean, Clean Breeze, I always compare the two, Clothesline and Aloe Water and Cucumber. And she'll kind of rotate those through the summer. But in the winter, she literally just has cinnamon bear. So she's a prime candidate for, you know, the minute I drop 6 bars off, she orders another 6, okay? So your people like that, you've got to start identifying, okay? Whiff boxes. If you have your customer that buys a whiff box every single month, loves the surprise, get them on a club subscription. It's going to automatically ship to them, and they then get that treat. I think that was initially what our subscription was aimed towards. So the Scentsy Club was aimed when they launched the whiff box, okay? I've talked about laundry products. So when you go in and set it up, it's an instant shipment, okay? So if I was to set one up today, it automatically would fall into my order history, and that would then be processed, okay? So your customers need to know that when they go and set that up, it's going to be an instant shipment. It will then tell them on the website when their next shipment is going to be due. And that depends on which they set up, 1, 2 or 3 months, okay? So ways that you can run this towards your customers is, especially now, if people don't want to be coming out, all the COVID restrictions and everything, it can be shipped directly to them. They will pay shipping, okay? The perks, so the perks of Scentsy Club is that you save money. So you can get a discount, you get a 10% discount when you hit a certain price bracket, and I'm going to cover that in a second. When you hit a higher price bracket, you get the 10% plus you get a half price item. So in the long run, it's a win-win situation. They can change the choices in their subscription every single time they have it set up. So if they have it set up for every other month, they can go in, change the choice of waxes and have something else shipped different from the last time. Or they can keep the same bars and just get them every other month. Okay. They always get my bar, and this is the thing that is another absolute amazing perk of Scentsy Club. If you have fallen in love with ginger spice and your customers are absolutely loving it, you want to encourage them to always get that bar. So Scentsy will make that bar forever and ever and ever, even if they're the only person in our entire region that wants ginger spice. They will guarantee that so long as that bar is in the subscription, they will make that and ship it. Now, they do say that the packaging might change over time. It might not hold that same packaging. So that's one thing to make a note of. But they then, if that bar is their absolute favourite, they can be guaranteed to get that. So I have a Scentsy Club subscription for Mediterranean Spa, which is the only thing that I'll warm in my bedroom, and I had to wait until that came back as a bring back my bar to add that in. So I now get one of those every 3 months, and because it's only in my bedroom, there's enough wax with that. I had a couple of bars in stock, so, but I have a couple of customers who are good friends who really like that one, so on occasion I will let them have a cheeky treat of the Mediterranean Spa. So it's little things like that that you can then do and add. If you have a customer who you know loves that bar and you can get it, you can then offer that to them. It's then showing that slightly higher level of customer service that you're then willing to part with your own goods to keep your customer happy, and they're going to remember that. Okay, so if we cover the discounts. So in region 2 and region 2 is kind of UK, kind of Europe-y way. And then region 1, I know we've got a couple of consultants in here who are from region 1, so that's kind of the US area. If I start off with region 1, purely because it's region 1, 10% off when they spend $30. And they get a half price item when the customers add $60 worth of products into their club subscription. So shipping and taxes obviously apply on top of that. In region 2, so kind of UK, I think most of us, I don't know if we have anybody who works in euros in here. 10% off when we spend £36 or 44 euros. Half price item when you spend £73 or 88 euros, okay? And that's based on the full retail price. So you don't get bundle and save within Scentsy Club. And I have got it written down as to why, so we'll cover that in a little bit. So your shipping options within your Scentsy Club are every 1 month, every 2 months, or every 3. Okay, so it's listed as monthly, bi-monthly, or quarterly. And you can change between those. What you can't do is reduce and then increase back up and always get my bar. So you have to make sure that your customers are aware of that. If they remove the always get my bar out of their basket at any point, they can't add it back in, okay? What they can do is if you set it up so you've got a little bit of a stock and you add 3 bars in, and then once you've got a little bit of stock, you want to not get that many bars, you can knock it down to 1, which might then tide you over for the period of time that you use that wax for, okay? But you need to make sure that they understand that. So I've moved off from a little bit of paper, give me 1 second. Okay, so said before, you can't add the warmers, it's all your consumables. You can get the scent of the month. Subscription service with no penalties for cancelling. So they can cancel at any point, but they must know about cancelling that Always Get My Bar. They can cancel everything else off, but they need to leave that Always Get My Bar in. It's free. There's no charge for it. You only pay for your shipping, and there's no minimum or maximum. You could literally add one bar and you're going to pay your shipping on top of that, but there's no minimum or maximum. Your Scentsy bars can only be added whilst they're still available on the PWS, so your personal website. Limited time offers, you've got the 30 days to add those. You can skip your shipment, but again, you can only skip your shipment with a Always Get My Bar in once in a 12-month period, okay? Because Scentsy project what they need to make for you. So they'll allow that one skipped, I'm going to have to be careful, skipped shipment once in the 12 months. If you try and skip it again, it's going to give you a warning. It's quite good for that. It's going to say you can't or you're going to lose your bar, okay? What happens if your payment is declined? Okay, so Scentsy will try and take the money from the card that you have paid. Yeah, laughing at my very careful wording. If your card is going to expire, Scentsy will email you. If they try and take the money from your card and it is it's declined for whatever reason, then they will try again 3 times. So they try 3 times in total, I should say. You will get an email that card has been declined for you to then go in. Maybe you haven't realised that your card needed updated and you missed that initial email. You get the chance then to go in, update your card details, and then when they try again for that shipment, for that card, it will then process, okay? They will try 3 times, and after the 3 times, over 3 days, your shipment will then be classed as skipped. And you've got to be really careful. If it's skipped and you've already skipped in that year, you will lose your Bring Back My, Always Get My Bars, okay? So you've got to be really, really careful. You get an email. So if my shipment is going to be processed on the 10th of March, on the last day of February or just before, I will get an email saying your upcoming shipment, which then gives me the chance to go in, amend the bars I want, and then that will then process. 10 days before, it's called a blackout. You can't go in and alter it. Any changes that you make would then be carried forward to the next shipment. So if that was in 2 months' time, then that would carry over to them, okay? Skip the shipment. Items that are in clearance and flash sales are not eligible to be added. If you've got a 10% off month on your waxes like we had in January, if your order is under £36, then the 10% for that month would be applied. If it's over the 36, then it's automatically applied anyway because it's a perk that's there. Bundle and save doesn't apply because you need to be able, if you've got a 6-pack of wax, you need to be able to alter that 6-pack individually, okay? So if you've got the Always Get My Bar in there and you've got 3 in, and you decide that you want to increase or decrease one of the others, it's not going to affect that whole order, okay? Whereas if you're increasing and decreasing, the system then wouldn't be able to go, oh, it's a 6-pack, or so it's literally because they're giving you the 10% off, you're going to save that equivalent of the bundle and save anyway. If you have 2 lots of subscriptions set up, so I would have my whiff box on one, and then I have my bars that I want as Always Get My Bars in a separate one, because if I want to cancel one or skip one, then I've got the option to do that. And one's on a 3-month and one's on a 1 month. So on the months that they collide, I would get an email off Scentsy. They're really, really good on the emails. And they would say you can merge the 2 together, okay? And this is where you then going to benefit again, because you're going to save the £6 postage on one of them, and you can then merge it together. When you get the £73, I'll just use the UK kind of price, the £73, you can add a whiff box in for half price. So in that month, you might not want the 2 whiff boxes. So you can then go in and add something else as your half price item. Okay. Covered on that. You can set up a Scentsy Club as a gift. You need a separate email address. So if your customer wanted to gift it to somebody, or if you wanted to gift a subscription to somebody, then you can set that up. You just need a separate email. You can't set that up for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. You would have to put a reminder somewhere to remind you to cancel it after that point. But you can do that. You can set it up to ship directly to them. So Scentsy will tell you when your cards, 3 days. Okay. A recent change that we're still trying to get our head around is the impact of adding low stock items. So we know things are selling out quite a bit recently. And for example, the Valentine's limited time offer, so those bars, lots of people will then utilise the option of always get my bar, go straight into Scentsy Club, add 20 bars because that's what their customers want, but that then is going to impact on potentially the Scentsy Club orders that have gone in and added those in. Okay, so they're working on a way to be able to make sure that the Scentsy Club people always get their bar and don't have delays in getting their shipment sent to them, but to still allow us to have that facility to go in and get the bars. So they're going to have a switch that is going to identify if you're adding too many bars, and it will then tell you, right, okay, you can't add 20, but you can add 15. And it means that you can still get it. So that hasn't come into play just yet. It's a most recent change. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out and works. But it is something that is coming in moving forward. You might also, with that, get a temporarily unavailable, and it won't let you add it because it's going to impact too much. So it's really important that you don't delay. If you are going to add it in for that customers on a shipment, that you do that. You don't leave it a week because you might not be able to offer that to your customers. The ship immediately option will also potentially be removed in that situation. It might mean that you would expect the bar to come in March, but it might not actually come until June. Okay, and that's like being excessive. Okay, but it's just to allow, if we've got thousands and thousands of bars being added in, then it's just something that they've got to look at, so it doesn't impact too much on the customers who get it and want it shipped on a monthly basis. Okay. If you choose not to have a website, then your customers who had, so if you had a website set up and your customer, your friend went in, added a Scentsy Club, that shows up automatically. They can still access that through the Scentsy.com website to alter it. You would still get the benefits of that, but you wouldn't be able to sign anybody new up. Okay, so you wouldn't lose that customer. That customer wouldn't roll up to your sponsor like it would if you went inactive. Okay, so they can still access that, but you can't sign anybody new up. If you have a consultant underneath you, or if you are going to go inactive and you're going to terminate, then any club subscriptions would roll up to your sponsor. Your customer would then get an email saying, okay, Christy is now your consultant who's going to be looking after that subscription. If you've got any issues, get in touch with her. That's an automatic thing that's sent out. So your customer and you don't need to go, oh, she's trying to poach that. You know, I've been out of the business for, you know, a week and she's already saying I'm going to look after it. It's an automatic thing. Okay, Scentsy will make sure that that customer is looked after okay, because that's the business that we're in. I think I've covered pretty much everything on there, but what I have done is I've recorded a video to show you how to set up a basic club subscription. Now, I've done it separately so it didn't go on after this, because this is brain numbing stuff and lots to get your head around. If you've been frantically writing trying to get it all down, I'm sorry. But what I will do is I'll give you half an hour. I'll go and sort it all out and I'll post it on in about half an hour. But what I wanted to say is you have to work your customers and still make sure that if they are signed up for Scentsy Club, that they're not missing out on a perk of being a VIP for you. So what I have done is set up, and I send, nice close up, a little surprise package, and it's got names and things on. What I'll do is I'll show you what I'm going to send out to my Scentsy Club customers. So I'm going to upload two things. The pack that I'm going to send out, which is a thank you, because they are basically giving me guaranteed PRV in the month that they've set that up, okay? So I have looked at what their subscription amount comes to, and I've worked off a percentage, as in kind of round what commission I would get from them, and worked out on a percentage. Okay, you can only offer what you can offer, but if you're not rewarding your customers, you're getting money off them, but you're not prepared to reward them, then it's something that you do need to look at, because customer service is massive. If they know they're not going to get it off Susie down the road, but they're going to get a nice little pack off me, who are they going to choose to shop through? So I'll share with you what are in those packs, with the disclaimer that I've been with Scentsy for 4 years and can offer that. If you can't offer that, figure out something that you can. Send whatever you can afford to do. Remember, no comparison. We don't play the comparison game. But I want them to then share with my other customers the perks of being a Scentsy Clubber, okay? Then I'll share the video for you to watch at your leisure. I think it hits about 5 minutes. It's not long, and it literally is just you looking at my computer screen with my lovely face in the corner and working through and showing you how to do it. It's easy enough to go in and alter, okay? You just have to go in and figure that out. But if anybody's struggling with that, let me know, okay? I think that's about it. If I think of anything else, I will type it below, but just work on it. Every time I post the scent of the month now, I write on, don't forget to add it to your subscription if it's going to be the bar, you know, the bar that you want forever. And I'm just getting used to utilising it in that different way that I hadn't done before. Guaranteed PRV, we all want that. Remember, we work smarter, not harder. And tomorrow we have the lovely Ali, who's going to go over some customer service ideas and tips and things like that with you. So that is all for now. Thank you for your time. I've kind of done just about half an hour. I'm going to get ready and share those with you. Bye for now.